Welcome to the Ghana Learning Channel Trust and to another program of interest. With us today in studios are members of the Rosewood Foundation, which is a foundation. We'll try to have them explain to you what it's all about. But just know that we have very much information for those of you that are in love with your pets. So welcome to our studios, ladies. So for our viewers out there, can you briefly introduce yourselves, your names, and your roles?
My name is Donna Lam. I am the president of the Rosewood Foundation Ghana.
My name is Cindy Francis. I am the Vice President of the Rosewood Foundation Ghana.
Okay, thank you very much for coming to our studios today. So can you explain to me what is the Rosewood Foundation and basically how it started?
Okay, so the Rosewood Foundation Ghana essentially is a registered nonprofit. We are volunteer-based. We do not have a shelter. The organization was founded in 2017, but we were officially registered as a not-for-profit company in December of 2019 with 3 directors, Ms. Lam, Ms. Hatim, and myself. So the Rosewood Foundation Ghana began because, or we saw a need for it at the time, where Ghana is generally, at that time, it was not a pet-friendly or animal-friendly society. So Donna and a friend of hers, Ms. Bonnard, saw the need at the time to start the foundation, so that we can bring more persons on board, educate them, and also we rescue animals, and the animals that we rescue, they are placed into foster homes because, as I mentioned, we do not have a shelter. And during their time in foster care, they are rehabilitated. The cost for that, I should mention, is funded by activities, fundraising activities, and also donors and sponsors that we have on board. So that's basically it for why we got started and what we are.
So you did mention some of the stuff that you do, which are like sponsorship activities involved with corporate sponsors and so forth. What are some of the major activities that have drawn a lot of attention?
I think the collaborative vaccination drives that we do in collab with the GSBC. It's sponsored by the Humane Society International and also our spay-neuter programs. We have hosted that in several communities across Guyana. Most recently this weekend, we concluded a collaborative spay-neuter project in the island of Leguan. This was the first ever. It actually was a very historic event because it was the first time ever anyone actually has gone to that island to carry out a project of this kind. So I would say that our focus is trying our best to reduce the stray population by way of spay and neuter. And we host other fundraising activities. Apart from that, we host other fundraising activities. Last October, I think it was, or November, we had the first ever kitten shower. Prior to that, in 2019, pre-COVID, we had adoption day and animal adoption day at the Giftland Mall.
The kitten shower, what was that about?
Okay. So the kitten shower in the month of December, it's referred to as kitten season. So there is an influx of kittens being brought in, I should say. We have so many calls coming in, so many messages, hundreds of messages asking us to take in kittens. Of course, there are only so many volunteer foster homes that we have on board, and the other organizations who are fortunate to have shelters are also at maximum capacity. So in order to help persons and also the foundation, the kitten shower was done so that it was a drop-off event in light of COVID. So persons had the opportunity to donate whatever they could to the kitten shower. It was food, it was litter, anything that can aid in the process of basically housing, fostering a kitten, and training it until they get adopted.
So what is your response like to these adoption drives or the adoptive initiatives?
The first ever adoption drive that we had at Giftland in 2019, it was amazing. Persons were extremely intrigued. We had persons coming up to us. We must say thanks to Mr. Roy B. Pat for that opportunity. And they were very interested because although animals were not available for adoption on the day, persons had the opportunity to indicate their interest because we had slideshows and so on. And we had a few of our fosters that they can interact with, and persons also had the opportunity to register as volunteers. So I think it was a very interactive event, and we were very pleased with the public's response to it.
Do you find it challenging with the public's approach to the treatment of strays?
It is very challenging because I think we as a people, I am Guyanese, I should say that, but we have the mindset that the fancier animals, whether it's dogs or cats, they are more important than what is referred to as the common breed or mixed breed animals in Guyana. So I would say it's definitely a challenge. And what we try to advocate for, and ourselves and many of the other groups try to advocate for, if you cannot help them, if you cannot absolutely help them, don't harm them. There are so many groups now in Guyana, four, I think, including the GSPCA, that provide services that can assist you if you're willing to work with us. So it's not a one-man show, so to speak. We need help. So when you make a report about something, we expect you to network along with us. And as it relates to the treatment of strays, we have a very long way to go. I think we're on the road to it, but we definitely have a far way to go in terms of the response to stray animals in Guyana.
That is understood. Ms. Lam, you have a very special passion as it relates to this particular project. The involvement of kids, it seems very necessary to, in your view, necessary to the advancements of the foundation. What are some of the projects that you have kids involved in, and how do you plan to target them given the current circumstances that are prevailing, such as the pandemic?
COVID has tied us down in a lot of ways. We had programs where every week we go to a different school and we speak to the children. The children are our future, and we need to teach the children. It's not that, this is what I found, it's not that people are bad, they don't love animals. It's that maybe they don't interact with animals, so they don't teach a child. You have a child, you have an animal, check the collar to make sure it's not tight. It's branded into the dog's neck. Or change the food, wash the food bowl, wash the water bowl. It's not something they think to tell a child. That child doesn't grow up with an animal. These are things that we go to the school and we teach the children. Because of COVID, that has been limited. But I use every opportunity that we get wherever we go, to the vaccination drive, the spay and neuter campaigns. We were in Leg 1, we took the opportunity to speak to the children there, to teach them how to properly take care of their pet. Also, we stress on being kind versus being cruel to an animal. If you teach a child, that child will go home, that child will teach a friend, he will teach his sibling, he will teach his parents. So from changing one child, you can save 100 animals. And that is why we need to get the message out there. We need to speak to the children. We need to show them how to take care of their animals better.
You know, we're at the Guyana Learning Channel here, and it's all about the children. How effective do you think it would be to have what could be possibly called a pet club, or the introduction of pet clubs in schools, whereby the children can, you know, be taught these disciplines that you're basically speaking about? Have you ever thought of that approach?
We were actually thinking about that. Every school that we visit, we leave an ambassador there. That ambassador is an ambassador for Rosewood and is in charge of gathering the animal lovers, starting that club and networking with us now, so that we can send vaccines to the children that they register to help them get dewormer and so on. Like I said, all of that has been on a standstill since COVID started because we haven't been able to meet safely with the children.
So apart from that, I understand that you're limited. What innovative ways have you found to get the message across to the children?
Well, that's what I'm hoping to do with you, Mr. Kingsley.
Lovely. I like that. Good answer. So, you know, we're winding down to the end of the interview. I would, of course, like to find out what special message would you, both persons, like to send to the general public out there, and especially the kids?
I want to tell the children, it's all about the animals. Everything on this planet is here for a reason. It's not our planet. We're here to share the planet. And you need to live along with the animals. My message to the children is you need to respect them. They have lives, they have feelings, they need love. It's not just, okay, I have a dog, I'm going to give it food, I'm going to give it water. It needs to interact with you. It needs love. You are the sole reason, you know, for that animal to be here. And you need to treat it with respect. If you can teach your friend, teach your parents, your siblings, we can start a giant wave, a movement here. And since we started Rosewood Foundation almost 4 years ago now, we have seen the changes. People are more aware. People call us all the time. They see something, they see cruelty, they see an animal in neglect, and they want to help, but they don't know how. And this is how we're going to help you. We need you to reach out to us.
Given these challenging times, do you think the adoption of a pet could actually help in the...
Most definitely. Most
I like the way you
definitely.
preempted the question even before I ended it.
Most definitely. We are stuck at home. We have very little interaction with people. We're social beings. We need pets. We need to stay sane. And an animal does that. Do you know that holding a cat and rubbing a cat on that cat purse, it is healing you while it's doing that? It's a scientific fact.
Yes, I've heard
And when the
research
cat
is
is
therapeutic.
children with Down syndrome interact, or autism interact with horses. We have an abundance of horses here. And children with Down syndrome and autism, they connect more to horses and dogs than they do to other people. And a child would, say a child has a problem at school, with a kid in the neighborhood and is being bullied. That child is more likely to sit and talk to a dog, and confide in a dog than he would to his friend or his parents, because the dog does not judge him. The dog will not say, you did something bad or you were a bad person. A child is more likely to hug an animal and feel better than he is to tell an adult.
Agreed.
We need animals in our lives, and we need to understand that they're here for a reason.
Agreed. Miss Cindy, any closing thoughts?
I would like to reiterate what Donna said in terms of being kind. I think that we are definitely on the road to a kinder, more humane society for animals. And if everyone played their part, then we would definitely attain it one day. It's going to be a long, challenging road. We know that. We face it every day. But a little bit of kindness definitely goes a long way.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for gracing us with your presence in our studios here at the Ghana Learning Channel.
Thank you for having us.